Hey guys, what's going on? So, 23.1 is finally here. Let's not talk about it, because it's awful. Okay. So, part of me, I'm just really proud of the meme picture that this thumbnail is. And I wanted to do, I posted that in the meme, content, for the Discord, and I hope it does really well. I don't know. It's really funny to me. And if you don't get it, it's Jurassic Park. And it's like this guy who is trying to be super secretive, and he's meeting this other guy. And he's like, "Oh, hey, Dodgson." And then he's like, "Hey, don't use my name." And then because he knows that like nobody around him is going to even care, he's like, "Dodgson, we got Dodgson here." And he's like, "See, nobody cares. Nice hat." It's a great moment in this scene of like somebody trying to be covert and like, you know, making fun of the other guy for being like, "No, don't say my name. Like, people are going to know me." And he's like, "Nobody cares about you." 23.1 is here. And the point one, is the obvious tip off that this is not going to be a big update. Like that you shouldn't expect big things from this. And with that being said, I would like to still complain about it, but not in the way that a lot of people are complaining about it. A lot of people are complaining about how the one major change is a nerf. It's that banner and knight statue don't stack anymore. And I didn't get a response because they very specifically worded it with sharpened spear does not stack with banner. But it's like, does that mean that Covenant of Veteran stacks with banner? Like, why would you word it like that? The original thing should have been like, knight statue. It's just, in general, does knight statue stack with banner? Right? Do you get double bonuses that are additive together? Right? And for some reason, they worded it very specifically with sharpened spear doesn't work with banner. And that leads me to believe that maybe Covenant of Veteran works with that. In either case, I don't care. I'm not an Inquisitor player. If you know my account, I am one away from a max level, one Inquisitor away, one duplicate away from a max Inquisitor. And so maybe I will become an Inquisitor player. But for right now, like, I don't play Inquisitor because, from 11 to 14, there was almost no change. There was no like power change between 11 and 14. And between 11 and 14, you will start facing level 15s, and 15 is a giant change. The 15 talent and getting 777% damage and stun is insanity. It's not just a power upgrade, it's a mega power upgrade. Between 12 to 14, there is almost no change. Like, you will not feel a difference when you upgrade it to 12, when you upgrade it to 13 and you get that talent, when you upgrade it to 14, it all feels kind of the same. But with that being said, I never really cared about Banner Knight statue, for that exact reason. And I feel like that's not even an efficient way to run that deck anyway. Trying to run double buildings, banner being one of them, knight statue being one of them, it opens you up to get screwed. And yes, that deck runs J, and that's how it's able to combat getting screwed. But having an opening of like double knight statue, double banner, that doesn't feel great, right? Even if you have like the damage version, like a level 15 knight statue, it doesn't feel great. And so I would never run that version anyway. And A-Friend Gaming already stated on his channel that they knew that this was a bug and that they were going to eventually fix it. And so they decided to fix it as the one nerf for this patch for 23.1. And so a lot of people were saying, like, a lot of people are complaining about this because it's like, oh, you just ruined Inquisitor. This is so awful. This is so if you haven't already understood by the title, this is a rant video. This isn't like a gameplay thing. I just want to talk about stuff. And like a lot of people were like saying like, oh, you nerfed Inquisitor. Now it's useless. Like, now I can't play this. It's complete garbage now. You gosh darn greedy developers, right? That's like the discourse. And that's an incorrect way of thinking. Like, yes, they changed this thing, but this thing wasn't even supposed to exist in the first place. And had you listened to A Friend Gaming's like channel and me stating this in videos, and I've like told my clanmates, I'm like, hey, they're gonna make this change. Clanmates from a different clan, granted, but I mean, like, I told people like that they were gonna implement this change, and they were like, well, it's not in the game yet, and so maybe they're never gonna do it. And then all of a sudden they do it, and then now like everybody's mad about it. This is something that is just inherent for this game. They can change things at will, like Enchant Sword. They completely changed the functionality of the awakening portion of Enchant Sword. And everybody thought that nobody would ever use that again. Now it's terrible. But now people still use it. It's still fine. They changed Witch, when it was what it was originally, like when they first introduced it. They like almost immediately changed it because it was too powerful. And people would have thought, oh no, now you're never going to use Witch again. Guess what? It's like one of the best support cards. People will still use cards even though they change it. It is not the end of the world. And if you feel like them changing a thing ruins your experience with the game, maybe this isn't the game for you, because this game is going to constantly change. They're constantly going to look at things and be like, you know what? That is too powerful, or that is not good enough. And they will change things, and you just kind of have to adapt to it. That's part of playing this game. And so I don't want to complain about that, but I also don't want to complain about this as a whole. So a lot of people are looking at 23.1 and they're remembering this post. And they're saying, well, how come where's the Harlequin and Scrapper talent and the PvP and the clan tournament and the changes to co-op? Where is all of that? As if that was going to be in 23.1. The point 1 is usually a patch note. It's something that is very minimal. It's never a big update. It's almost never like a talent-based update. Usually they save that for the next big one, right? Like a 24.0, a 25.0. If their next announcement is a 23.2, oh, so many people are going to get so angry. They don't normally do that. I don't think they've ever done that. Like a 23.1 and then 23.2 and then 23.3. They don't normally do that, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, can you imagine the outcry if they announced 23.2? They're like, oh, we changed Harlequin's color from black to red to black. It's like, the outcry would be enormous. It would be insane. But like the major updates are the ones that have like the cool stuff, like all the stuff that you would want. But in saying that, I think that this, like 23.1, could have benefited, like to make people care, it could have benefited from two things. One, not drawing it out. This was the most drawn out patch, like, in existence. Like, we were waiting for something, and I'm going to show you how long we were waiting. So they posted this after 23.0, obviously, and it's their timeline, right? Whenever they post this, and I made a video about it, a shorts, and I was basically stating that all of this is not going to come in the next update. So even when they do finally do a 24.0, it's not going to have all of this. It's going to have some of this. It might even have like it might even have Harlequin talents, but maybe it won't have Scrapper talents. It might have the PvP change, but it won't have the co-op change, right? It'll have some of this, but it won't have all of this. And that's completely understandable. But they posted this December 27th. It is currently January 22nd, right? It's been basically a month. And they posted this, and this got a lot of people hyped for everything that they said about this. And so what did they do for a month, right? New season started. So this is the new battle pass. And then, the holiday picture of wallpapers And then Happy New Year to everybody. Just a regular post. And then tell us about your Christmas tree. And then write your what ifs, right? And then something is wrong with this picture. What is it? And then here are some alternate concept arts of Genie. And then, oh, tournament is happening. Wind of Change. Oh, let's talk about 23.1. Okay, here it is. Here's the big announcement. The thing that's going to happen in 2 weeks from now, Random League, we're going to make some changes to that, right? And there was a part of me, when they finally made this one, I was like, okay, they're going to add something from that other update. The update where they said that, all of this stuff, like the co-op stuff, the PvP stuff, this Harley Quinn and Scrapper, all of that stuff, like the tournament changes, like changing the time, right? Or changing it from being a timed event to being a points event. Even, I would have even accepted, like, the visual, they said that there was going to be like a visual thing. I'll get it. The interface changes, new interface for units and heroes, more information about mechanics. I might have even accepted that one. Like, it doesn't need to be both Harley Quinn and Scrapper talents in 23.1, but something that actively affects us now. Changing Random League and making that the reason for your announcement of a 23.1, that would be, and it took them a month to do this. It took them a month to finally say, oh, by the way, this is the new big thing for January. It's 23.1. And the change is not until February. We're not even going to see this change until February anyway. So from now until February, there's no reason for them to announce a 24.0, because right now 23.1 is the main thing for an event that happens in February. This just gave them an additional amount of time to not update us with a 24.0 and not update us with any of those planned changes. And again, I'm not saying that, you needed to do all of those changes, because I get that a lot of those are big changes. In regards to talents. Talents are big changes. That's what you want to save for your main number thing. Like your 24.0, your 25.0. Those are your big changes, right? Because the 23.0 change was all of those talent changes. They gave us Clown, they gave us Genie, they gave us the Christmas event, the New Year's event, right? All of those changes were in that. And so I understand that 24, the next numbered change is going to be the big one, but you have to give us something other than we changed something that's going to happen in February. Like an event that doesn't even feel like it needs to even be announced. Like if they changed Mirror Match, right? If they changed the next Mirror Match, I don't know if that's worthy as a 0.1. I don't know if you have to wait an entire month to say, oh, by the way, we're changing Royal Trials and there's going to be an update. And you say nothing for a month, and then you say oh, by the way, yeah, in the next Royal Trials, when it comes around again, Lightning Mage is now locked between it has a recharge now. Get excited for Lightning Mage. That doesn't feel like an announcement is what I'm trying to say. And the fact that we've been waiting for a month for anything, because nothing has happened all of January. It's just been a regular month of just playing the game, and playing the game is fine. I'm not saying I hate playing this game or anything, but at the same time, we always want to be excited for something. We want to be anticipating something. And the fact that all of, January, the patch is for something that happens in February. That feels very strange. And I understand stretching things out because maybe that is how you create content, right? That you can't just keep bringing out, 24.0. Oh, next week, 25.0. Oh, next week, 26.0. Like, you can't just keep doing that from a development standpoint, right? That would be, but at the same time, that would be like if I posted a match that I did, but I did it in 3 separate parts. And I did that over the course of like a month. Like, I posted one on the 1st, and then I posted the second part on the 15th, and then I posted the third part of that match on the 30th. Right? And because I didn't have ideas for content for that month, and so I just stretched it out for like a really long time. Or I could post every day, but I posted like a 30-second clip on the first day, and then a 30-second clip on the second day, and then a 30-second clip on the third day. It's like, tell me that you don't have content without telling me you don't have content. So it just feels strange that the only thing that they're changing is something for the next month, and it doesn't even really have anything to do with this month. The big change for 23.1 for the month of January is banner and night statue no longer stack, and it was actively a bug that should have never existed in the first place, and that's your big January update. Like, that's what it feels like. I'm not angered that they changed it. I'm angered that that was the only update for this month. That we waited an entire month for something after them announcing like their future plans for the rest of the year. And we've wasted all of January on a bug. Like, that's where my frustration comes in. I understand that 23.0 was a very big patch, and a lot of things happened in that patch. Like, because they changed like all of these talents, they changed all of these things, they gave us Genie and Clown. But hey, here's a thought. Maybe you could have split that up. Maybe instead of giving us all of those changes, like the changes in Reaper talents and Sharpshooter talents and Sentry and Catapult and, Priestess and, Thrower, maybe instead of dropping all of that and, proverbially, oh my god, what is that word? Blowing your entire load. It's gonna bother me. Somebody write this in the comments. Like, when you're saying, like, you get what I'm saying, right? Do you get what I'm saying? If not, also write that in the comments. It'll increase my engagement. Proverbially? No. I can't believe I don't know what this word is anymore. I feel like I use it all the time. I don't know. I don't know what the word is. It's bothering me now. Anyway, instead of blowing your load, with, 23.0 and all of those, like, those talent changes, they changed all of, like, the way the talent functions. That was another thing in, like, 23.0. There was so much in 23.0. And, like, I feel like if you just split some of that into a 23.1, maybe you do some of, like, give us, like, Reaper talents and, like, Sharpshooter talents and, what's it called? Or the changes in talents. And then you do, like, how we're changing commons, like common units, and how their talent, you can upgrade it with just gold. Do that in 23.0. And then in 23.1, do all of this, and then be like, oh, also, we're changing Priestess, and we're changing this, and we're changing this. Like, if you knew that you didn't have more than that, I feel like if you split that up, 23.1 would have been much more interesting. And I don't think that people would have just been like, wow, we waited an entire month for literally nothing. Something that should have been changed in just a regular patch note. Like when the one unit glitch was happening, and they just, updated a thing and said, update your thing. And oh, by the way, we changed that thing. Like that's what this feels like. But at the same time, it also feels like we waited a month for that. Like imagine if when that glitch came out, they were like, oh, in the new patch, we're going to change that thing that shouldn't exist. We're going to, that glitch that's happening, it's the new update. The new update. Download that new update now and that glitch will be gone. Like that just feels so weird that this was the big news of January. But yeah, like I feel like there's a lot of like hatred towards this patch, and I think a lot of it is undeserved, but I do think how they did it, and how they decided to draw this out over the course of like a January is very strange. I will give them credit, like when they deserve credit. Like 23.0, it was an insane patch. It was insane. Like there was so much happening, but it almost now feels like there was too much happening that they didn't have enough for a in between 23.0 and 24.0, right? Like if they split that up, that's really it. If they would have split up 23.0 into 23.0 and 23.1, and you would have just had like an even split of, oh, right now we're changing all the commons and how that function changes, and now we're changing all the rares in 23.1. Here's some, old units that we're changing in 23.0. Here's some other units that we're changing in 23.1. Even that would have been better. And so if any developers are listening and like you want to do, like you want to give yourself time, because I get that. I get wanting to give yourself time to make a big update. Like I understand that updates take a while, like changing a giant quantity of things, adding in Harley Quinn, making sure it works, adding in Scrapper Talons, making sure that works, making sure that there's not any like glitches. Like I understand that all of that takes a lot of time, but if you need months to like, if you need separate months to like implement a 24.0, and you have an overly large 23.0, and the next month you don't plan on releasing 24.0, and the next month you intend to release a smaller patch because you've done that a lot of times, if you're going to upload a smaller patch, maybe account for maybe this doesn't need to be as big as it is because we're already introducing Genie and Clown and an event and all of this other stuff. Like maybe split that up. And then I feel like more people would be a little bit happier that at the very least, what we waited for this entire month wasn't something that felt unnecessary.